Hey guys, welcome back to Digital Sniper. So I've been eyeing on an auction lately, and this is from Probstein auctions on eBay, and I just wanted to see what you guys think. So this auction, there's a lot of PSA 10 cards, and the opening bids for these cards are quite high. I mean, so high that I think so far, I mean, this auction started on Wednesday, and so far, a lot of the cards have ended with no bidders. Now, mind you, I did buy two cards from this collection, and I did notice one or two cards being sold as well, or at least being won as well in auction. But the bidding is a very low number, like one or two at most. And we're talking about more of the lower end cards and not these higher end cards because, as you can see, for example, the opening bid for a base Barry Bonds at $3,600, and then the PSA 10 for the Craig Biggio's at 2250, which is quite high in my opinion. There are some cards that are closer to previous comps, like the Frank Thomas here. A PSA 10, David Wells at 1350 is quite steep. In my opinion, this card is worth maybe $500 to $600 max, and I've already considered the fact that this is kind of a rare card. But also, not to mention, in this collection, majority of these cards are older label PSA, which is not as desirable. And a lot of these cards, like for example, I was looking at the details of the condition of the number one Nolan Ryan, which is listed here for opening bid at 4,500. Um, there are like one ding corner in the upper right, a soft corner at the bottom right, and the chipping on the edges is quite severe. So I don't know. I mean, at the moment, a majority of these cards have no bids, and it's been going on for a few days. And mind you, this is like the second. I think this is like the second lot. They probably a few of the cards have already closed in auction. But let's have a look at a few more cards. At Mark Grace at 1350 is quite steep. Um, and majority of these cards are PSA 10. So I don't see any nines at least. Bo Jackson at 1350 is acceptable, like if it closed at 1350, but the opening bid is still quite high. So sure, I mean, probably by setting the opening bid at 1350, they're more aiming for like high rollers or people that really want this card. But I don't see how that will benefit the auction house, considering that, like, I would say, from my observation, like probably more than 90% of the cards in this auction have no bids. So yeah, like look, this Tim Wallach, PSA 10 at 1350, or this Rick Honeycutt at 1350. And no disrespect to the players, it's just that these aren't star caliber players. And I mean, there are some that are closer to comps, and that's why I did end up buying or bidding on two of them, and I did win. But the reason why I was able to win this auction is probably because I think most potential buyers or collectors just saw the price and probably scare them away. Um, I recently bought a BGS 9.5, if you guys remember, of Tony Gwynn for less than $200. So this 10 is asking for 1125, zero bidders. Carlos Baerga PSA 10 at 1125. Yeah, so, oh, and this Walt Weiss I bought at a PSA 9 very recently, new grade, for $55. So, yeah, I mean, this is quite bullish if the seller thinks that there will be someone interested at buying a Walt Weiss PSA 10 at 1125. So, what do you guys think? I mean, or do you think either Probstein or the seller knows something that we don't, and that eventually or very soon these Desert Shield cards will appreciate very highly in price, and that this will become a very reasonable price that these cards will close at. Now, the reason why I find this kind of interesting is because from several interviews with Probstein, I understand that this is not really their their culture. I mean, they do want to get rid of the cards. And what I mean by getting rid of these cards, I'm talking about selling these cards ASAP. And so, by setting such a high price, even if they plan to reduce every round of auction, it will take them a while to get down to a price where I think it's like fair market value. Okay, and especially with a few of them that aren't like star caliber players. Maybe, for example, this Nolan Ryan here. Maybe if you go down to like somewhere in the 3 to 4 thousand, someone will look at the last comp and will decide to buy it. But mind you, the previous comp before that was below $3,000. So it's a long way to go before it sort of reaches like the fair market price, like the current fair market price. And of course, you could account for the future value, but these cards have gone up quite a bit already, and it's quite optimistic if you think that the cards will go up double of what it's been sold for in the last couple of months. So yeah, please let me know what you think. I want to keep this short. I buy from Probstein all the time. I know they're like super experienced with auctions and selling cards in general. And this has nothing, like, I'm not targeting Probstein. I'm pretty sure this was probably in request or in agreement with the seller, and they didn't want to sell the cards cheaply. I can understand that, but why not just set a reserve, or or even to buy it now? I just think for a seller or the cosigner to have to wait several days for the auctions to end and then relist at a different price and keep testing the market like that, it's very time consuming. But if you think there's another reason why they're selling this way, please let me know. I'm just really interested to find out. Okay, I'll talk to you guys another time. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye now.